The Middle East, a region perpetually perched on the edge of uncertainty, witnessed another chapter of its tumultuous history unfold in October 2023. This region, with its rich history and complex geopolitical landscape, has often been a focal point of international attention and concern. The Gaza Strip, a densely populated Palestinian territory, once again became the epicenter of a violent conflagration. The streets, already scarred by years of conflict, echoed with the sounds of unrest, and the lives of countless civilians were thrown into chaos.
As the situation spiraled, I embarked on a series of high-stakes diplomatic missions, navigating a complex web of alliances and rivalries. Each meeting was a delicate dance, requiring not just political acumen, but also a deep understanding of the historical grievances and aspirations of the people involved. My objective was to quell the violence, broker a ceasefire, and prevent a humanitarian catastrophe. The stakes were incredibly high, and every decision had the potential to either bring hope or further despair to millions.
Blinken's itinerary read like a who's who of Middle Eastern power brokers: Jerusalem, Doha, Amman, and Riyadh. Each city, with its unique political landscape and key players, presented both challenges and opportunities for diplomatic engagement. Each stop presented its own set of challenges and opportunities, demanding a deft diplomatic touch. In Jerusalem, the historical and religious significance added layers of complexity to the discussions. In Doha, the focus was on leveraging Qatar's influence to mediate and support peace efforts. The stakes were high, not just for the region but for the Biden administration's foreign policy agenda. Success in these missions could bolster the administration's standing on the global stage, while failure could have far-reaching consequences. The world watched, holding its breath, as Blinken traversed the region, seeking to bridge divides and forge a path towards peace. The international community's eyes were fixed on every move, every handshake, and every statement, hoping for a breakthrough.
This whirlwind diplomatic tour underscored the pivotal role the United States continues to play in the Middle East. Our involvement is not just about politics, it's about human lives, stability, and the future of a region that has known too much suffering. It also highlighted the immense complexities of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, a Gordian knot that has defied resolution for decades. The historical grievances, the deep-seated mistrust, and the ongoing violence make finding a lasting solution incredibly challenging. As I engaged in shuttle diplomacy, the world witnessed the fragility of peace and the urgent need for a just and lasting solution. Every conversation, every negotiation, was a step towards either reconciliation or further division. The path to peace is fraught with obstacles, but the pursuit of it remains a moral imperative for all involved.
The immediate trigger for the October 2023 escalation in Gaza remains a subject of debate. Some point to a specific incident, while others argue it was a culmination of long-standing tensions. However, the underlying causes are deeply rooted in the decades-long Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This conflict has seen numerous flare-ups over the years, each one leaving a lasting impact on both communities. A complex web of factors, including political deadlock, economic hardship, and social tensions in Gaza, created a tinderbox environment. The economic blockade has crippled Gaza's economy, leading to widespread unemployment and poverty. The spark that ignited this powder keg remains unclear, with conflicting narratives emerging from both sides. Some reports suggest a provocative act by one side, while others claim it was a premeditated response to ongoing provocations. What is undeniable is the ferocity with which the violence erupted, catching many by surprise. The sudden escalation led to widespread panic and chaos, with civilians bearing the brunt of the conflict. Rockets rained down on Israeli cities while Israeli airstrikes pounded targets in Gaza. The exchange of fire was relentless, with neither side showing any signs of backing down. The civilian toll mounted rapidly, with both Israelis and Palestinians caught in the crossfire. Families were torn apart, homes were destroyed, and the sense of security was shattered. International condemnation was swift, with calls for an immediate ceasefire growing louder by the day. World leaders and organizations urged both sides to de-escalate and return to the negotiating table. The situation in Gaza, already dire due to years of blockade and conflict, deteriorated rapidly. The blockade has restricted the flow of goods and services, exacerbating the humanitarian crisis. Hospitals overflowed with casualties, and essential supplies dwindled as the violence showed no signs of abating. Medical staff worked around the clock, struggling to provide care with limited resources. The international community called for urgent humanitarian aid to alleviate the suffering of those caught in the conflict. The escalation in Gaza prompted urgent calls for restraint from the international community. Leaders around the world urged both sides to step back from the brink and seek a diplomatic resolution. The region's intricate web of alliances and rivalries further complicated efforts to de-escalate the situation.
We recognize the need for restraint and dialogue. However, navigating the fault lines in this conflict requires a nuanced approach. It is crucial to address the underlying issues that fuel the violence, including the humanitarian crisis and the lack of a viable peace process.
The international community's plea for calm underscored the delicate balance of power in the Middle East. As the violence continued, the world watched anxiously, hoping for a breakthrough that could bring lasting peace to the region. Amid the chaos, efforts to broker a ceasefire gained momentum. The streets were filled with tension, and the urgency for peace was palpable. Negotiation rooms became the epicenter of hope, where every word and gesture carried immense weight. Diplomatic channels buzzed with activity as regional players were engaged in intense negotiations. These discussions were not just about immediate ceasefire, but also about laying the groundwork for long-term stability. The stakes were high, and every participant knew the importance of their role. The goal was clear: to halt the violence and pave the way for a sustainable peace agreement. The signing of a ceasefire would be a monumental step, symbolizing a commitment to peace and a rejection of further bloodshed. Celebrations would mark not just an agreement, but a collective sigh of relief.
We are committed to working with our partners in the region to broker a ceasefire. Our efforts are not just diplomatic gestures, but a genuine commitment to ending the suffering. Secretary Blinken's meetings underscore the importance of international support in these regional efforts. It is essential to engage with all stakeholders to ensure that the ceasefire holds and that we address the root causes of the conflict. This means listening to diverse voices and understanding the complex dynamics at play. Only through inclusive dialogue can we hope to achieve lasting peace.
The involvement of regional players was crucial in the ceasefire negotiations. Their deep understanding of the local context and their ability to influence various factions made them indispensable. Their presence at the table was a testament to the collective desire for peace. Their influence and leverage were key to bringing both sides to the table. Without their mediation, the path to ceasefire would have been fraught with even more challenges. Their diplomatic skills were instrumental in bridging divides and fostering mutual understanding. As the talks progressed, there was a glimmer of hope that a ceasefire could be achieved, providing a respite from the relentless violence and opening the door to a broader peace process. This hope was not just for a temporary halt in fighting, but for a future where dialogue and cooperation replace conflict and mistrust. The announcement of a ceasefire would be a beacon of hope for millions, signaling a new chapter in the region's history. Navigating the complex relationship with the kingdom has always been a delicate dance.
The alliances we form are crucial for maintaining regional stability. We must balance our interests carefully.
Veteran journalist Bob Woodward shares his insights on the evolving geopolitical landscape.
It's fascinating to see how the dynamics have shifted. The key players are constantly adapting to new realities.
His observations provide a deeper understanding of the intricate web of international relations.
The narrative in the Arab media has seen a significant shift. It's not just about the conflicts anymore, but also about the aspirations and the resilience of the people.
Indeed, the stories are evolving. The focus is increasingly on hope, progress, and the future.
Our story is one of struggle and endurance. We have faced many challenges, but we continue to fight for our rights and our homeland.
The Palestinian narrative is being retold, highlighting the strength and determination of its people. The geopolitical landscape is fraught with challenges, but within these challenges lie opportunities. Diplomacy, alliances, and strategic decisions will shape the future. As we look ahead, the question remains, are we on the brink of a new Middle East? Only time will tell, but the signs of change are unmistakable.